everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shawna Paterson and today I have another interior design video for you guys. I get so many comments and messages from a ton of you guys who I know have been watching my videos about interior design, my route to interior design school, and like class breakdowns and all that stuff. You guys have been asking me so many questions on like Instagram and YouTube, asking me about interior designs, like further questions that I have yet to answer. So I thought I'd combine a bunch of the questions that I get asked most frequently and kind of do a frequently asked questions about interior design. Mainly people are interested in how to become an interior designer, whether they're in high school or they're later on in life and they just want to know the steps to create a portfolio or do interviews and how to apply and where to apply and like what it takes to become an interior designer. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. I know it's been highly requested. Hopefully I can answer some of your questions, and if there's any questions in here that I haven't answered, leave them in the comments down below. I'll either make another video answering them or I'll just answer right back to them. I collected some of the questions from previous YouTube videos. Hopefully your question gets answered, or in some way you can kind of like pick bits out of the responses to kind of give yourself a little bit more info on interior design. Just to kind of give you a background, if you have yet to watch my previous videos, of course I will link them down in the description box if you're interested in checking out what I do for a living. I work as a full-time junior designer at the moment. I'm not technically an interior designer yet because you have to pass a bunch of exams and do a bunch of working hours under the supervision of an Arrudo certified member. There's a bunch of different pathways you can do to get your interior design license, let's say. Call yourself an interior designer. Also, I want to make note that I live in Canada. All the things and the advice I'm going to be giving are specific to where I live. I know that there's different regulations in different countries. I don't know how programs are in different countries. I only know how it works where I live. Live in a different area than me, which I'm sure most of you do. Make sure to just use the internet and like Google around and see what steps you have to take in order to be a registered interior designer in your area. Another thing I want to say before I start is I'm not an interior decorator. Lots and lots of people get interior decorating and interior design mixed up. They're two different professions. Interior design is more so like interior architecture, and interior decorating is decorating. So it's just two different professions, so keep that in mind if you're wanting to get into this career, that it's two different professions, and I've kind of delved into that in previous videos, so I'm not going to reiterate myself because this is already probably going to be a pretty long video. I have a bunch of questions written down on my phone that I've taken from questions that you guys have actually asked me, so I'm just going to hop right onto the video and get started with your questions. The first question is, what if I'm horrible at drawing? Can I still get into interior design? Yes. Keep in mind all these things are like for things that like I personally did, so I don't know like how your schools will, the admission process goes and things like that, so always just keep that in mind when you're applying places, that every school is different and every program is different, every country is different. So I can just give you advice on the things that I've done and maybe that'll be a little bit helpful for you. So basically when I applied to my interior design program, I did have to draw things. I had to create a portfolio, and in my portfolio I did drawings of like staircases and perspective spaces and like drawings of chairs and things like that, because at the time I really didn't know too much about interior design and like what the terminology was and things like that. I just did some still life drawings, and in first year you do have to draw freehand. It's a lot of sketching. We weren't able to use 3D modeling yet on our computers. All of our renderings we had to do by hand, so you do kind of need to know how to draw. But with that being said, they teach you a little bit, but you do have to have a bit of artistic ability in order to, you know, keep up with everything and be able to kind of establish that higher level of drawing skill. Oh, trust me, honestly, like from the time I got into first year to the time I left in fourth year, my drawings were like completely different. Like it's literally night and day. So you do learn, so don't worry if that's an issue. The second question is, what colleges do you recommend for interior design? So I personally went to Humber College in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I personally really liked my program. I thought the programs were all very small knit, meaning that you get more one-on-one interaction with teachers than you would at, say, a bigger university. I really liked my program because I didn't find everyone really like, I don't know what to say, like snooty or cliquey. I don't know. But I have heard that other schools, especially in Ontario, that offer interior design are kind of like snooty. I don't know. It might just be the people in the program, like the students, but I don't know. I really don't know too much about the other programs. I'm sure they're all really great. They teach the same academics, but I just really liked going to Humber. I just felt like I fit in a little bit better. As far as schools in the States and in other countries, I really have no idea, and I can't recommend anything outside of the one place that I went to. Next question is, what computer would you recommend? So as some of you may know, we do a lot of AutoCAD and Photoshop and rendering, SketchUp, and it's a lot of very computer intensive programs. When you're buying a computer, if you've been like accepted into an interior design program, make sure that it works really quickly and it's kind of like a powerhouse computer. I know people would get desktop computers, but about 80% of the students in my year in my program had MacBook laptops, so we would all have MacBook Pro laptops, and mine worked fine for me. Crashed a bit, but I really like my Mac and I swear by it. So make sure you get like a pretty good MacBook Pro. Don't get MacBook Airs, like they won't run AutoCAD. And if you get a MacBook, you have to keep in mind that your AutoCAD might not work properly on the system. So you'd have to get either like a program called Parallels where you can run Windows on a Mac. Just keep that in mind. The next question is, I want to get into interior designing, but I'm really confused on how to make a portfolio or even where to start because I have no professional experience. How can I produce a portfolio? What kind of images should be in your portfolio, or should it be drawings of things? Any suggestions and helps will be really appreciated. What I included in my portfolio was I did a room perspective, so that's basically using 2-point perspective. I also did a pencil drawing of a stairwell and a pencil drawing of a chair, and I also took art in grade 11 and grade 12 in high school, so I submitted some of my favorite paintings that I did in there into my portfolio, and I'm pretty sure for quite a lot of the schools it was a digital portfolio, so you just take either photographs or scans of your artwork and you just create like a digital PDF of all your artwork and kind of name it like the medium, the size it is, blah 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 blah. Basically the schools just want to know that you have that artistic capability, so just try your best to include any sort of artwork you have, whether that be in high school classes or you can take community classes to, you know, build your painting repertoire, just anything like photography they could accept, anything that just shows your creative sides. So you can even submit things that you just work on at home. It's really up to you. Next question is, do you need to know about accounting and/or marketing in interior design? Are there other fields of business that would be helpful if you became an interior designer? Personally, none of the courses in my interior design school really contributed to business or marketing. We were kind of left on our own to develop our own kind of marketing portfolio. Like when we created our portfolio to apply to internships and our final portfolio in 3rd and 4th year, we were kind of left to our own devices to come up with our own branding. We were never really given any instruction on how to start your own business, anything like that. Thinking of starting your own business and like working out in the real world, you'll definitely have to know how to market yourself, create your design and your image and your brand for your portfolio and like your business cards and your resume, make it like all one cohesive package. Next question is, do you need to study math to be an interior designer? Do you think it matters if I take harder courses in physics and math, or do they look at my portfolio more than how hard I am trying in math and physics? At the end of the day, I'm not part of the admission team and I don't really know what goes into admitting someone into a university program for interior design. When I applied, it was kind of like mandatory, like you had to achieve like this certain amount of mark in order to be even like qualified to apply for the school. I don't know what percentage each thing is weighted at. I know that we did take one math class in my university program, not that I really know why we took it because it has no relation to what we do like at all. It was about like graphs and like parabolas and I hated it. Academic marks only get you so far, and in a creative program like interior design, you really have to be prepared to really put your design foot forward, and mainly that's what you're gonna need to use to get into the school and to like thrive in the industry. It's not your math skills, it's more of your passion for design. In physics really wasn't needed at all. Next question is, I am studying interior design this coming fall and I was wondering if your MacBook is compatible with the programs that interior design requires. I've been told it's not and that I need to get a Windows computer, but I hate Windows. So what worked for you? So as I touched on the previous question, I used a MacBook Pro. It worked fine for me, but when I was using AutoCAD and I had to PDF a drawing or like plot it, I couldn't do it on my MacBook for whatever reason, so I always had to use a school computer. My MacBook started getting slow and it took a really long time when I was using SketchUp and having to render, but that could also just be contributed to how old your computer is and how much RAM you have and just different specifications like that. But Macs have always been really great for designing and Photoshop, and personally I just like the way Macs run, and that's just what I like. So I wanted to get a Mac, and about 80% of the people in my program have Macs, but you have to keep in mind that you do all your AutoCAD on a Mac using AutoCAD for Mac, but when you're like PDFing the drawing, they usually don't work, or if some of the commands are a little bit different. So you just have to get used to that and find workaways around it if you want to get a Mac. Next question is it easy to get a job after all your learning and training? I kind of took the summer off after I graduated to just like work part-time and travel and chill, and after I got back I started applying, and it took me about, I'd say, 3 weeks to find a job, to like apply, go for interviews, and land a job, which is amazing because I know it's super hard for people to get jobs once they're out of university. I know I was very fortunate for the opportunity that I had, and I'm super grateful for it. It didn't take me very long to find a job. Very likely it could have been no opportunities where I lived. People could have been hiring. Honestly, it's like the luck of the draw when you land a job that you like. For interior design, it really depends where you live. Obviously, I live in a major city, so there's a lot more opportunities. Also keep in mind when you're going into like a junior designer position straight off of university, you have to not go in with the mentality that you're gonna land that senior position and like be able to afford a nice new house. You have to know that you have to start basically from the bottom and work yourself up. Next question is, I have a quick question about your experience in real field. I have a fine art degree but wish to get into interior design. Do I have to take additional courses / degrees / certifications to get into interior design field, or can I just jump in and learn from real world? In order to be a licensed interior designer in Ontario, and I'm pretty sure all of Canada, you have to go to school at a accredited interior design school. There's only about a handful in Ontario. If you've graduated, you have to earn about 3,600 hours working under the supervision of an Arito supervisor. There's also like other pathways that you can do to obtain your certification, but that is the one that I am doing. Then you have to write a set of 3 different exams, and once you pass all those, then you can be an interior designer. So it's a very lengthy process, and it's quite intensive and very, very hard. So you can't just jump into being an interior designer. You have to go to school and you have to do a bunch of different things in order to earn your certification. That being said, you can be an interior decorator, but they're 2 different professions. To be an interior decorator, you can 100% be self-taught interior decorator. But I know a lot of people that are self-taught interior decorators that have just learned from things that they found online. The next question is, what classes should I take in high school in order to get into interior design? Question varies depending on which schools you're planning on applying to. I would suggest looking ahead at the schools in your area or the area that you want to go to school in and see what the admission requirements are for each program. In terms of just like courses that you can take to better prepare yourself for interior design, I would definitely say to stick to the art programs because it can be very helpful in increasing your drawing skills as well as building pieces for your portfolio. So the last question for this video is, I'm in high school or I'm not in school at the moment. What should I include in my portfolio? I included 3-point perspective, drawings of staircases and chairs, and those I would just use a pencil for, like pencil on paper. I submitted work that I did in art classes, so paintings. So like this was a painting I submitted in my portfolio. And yeah, so like, oh, there's a giant hair on it. Good job, Shawna. So when you're applying to interior design schools, just include anything that you have that shows your artistic ability to give the admission people something to base their judgment of your creativity off of. And then when it comes time to actually building your professional portfolio, this is mine right here. Basically include a bunch of the projects that you've been working on in your years at university. One was the portfolio that I made in 3rd year. So it's just a little hardcover book, and it just says my name on it, nice and clean and simple. It goes along with my branding here, and then it just has like a little bit of about me, some just like hand sketches that I did of rooms, a residential project that I did, some AutoCAD floor plans, as well as elevations and exterior elevations. And you know, these are like photos of like hand-built models that I did. And then here's like a restaurant project that I did, so we use SketchUp modeling and everything like that to create little 3D models. And then we use SketchUp with V-Ray, I think I used, or Shaderlight, I can't remember, to create renderings of the SketchUp model, so you could actually get like lifelike images of the space that you're designing. I did like corporate office spaces and retail spaces and just like all the different projects that I worked on in university. So that was a little peek at my personal portfolio that I did in my 3rd year. That's the one I used to get my internship. I also have a video about my interior design internship and like how to design a portfolio and all that good stuff. I made it a bit ago, so I'll link that down below as well. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me and about interior design and like everything else that I do on my channel. And give this video a big thumbs up if I answered some of your long-awaited interior design questions, and if you like this video as well. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!